にちは、皆さん。はい、グレートオーカー、ユナイテッドエンパイア。今日は試合があった。そして彼がエンパイアの応援してくれるんですよ。みんな、ブローキンテーブルポッドキャスト、よろしく。
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Broken Tables podcast. This is episode number 46. I am your host, Jeffrey Vegas, here with my co-host, as always, Rome. How you doing tonight, man?
Actually, I'm not happy tonight. It's, we'll get into it. I'm not in the best of moods, but it's okay.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But I don't think it was because of Rampage, because I thought Rampage was fantastic. This is going to be our Rampage review, and then after that we will be getting to an update on everything that we currently know about the Vince McMahon situation, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah. I mean, we could start with Rampage if you want.
Yeah, we'll start with the Rampage.
Evening Juan.
Yes.
The Virtual Boy is once again not here.
All right, well, we will start off with Rampage. We'll get to the other stuff afterwards. We started off, again, right off the bat, we start with a match, Jon Moxley versus Dante Martin. I love when William Regal and Jericho are on commentary together. Jericho just started making insults towards people from Blackpool, pretending as if he was not sitting there. I love when these two are on commentary. It's absolutely great. And, Jordan says, be happy. FTR going to be strapped up.
Absolutely. Don't worry. I'm going to be fine. But I'm fucking pissed off. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the Vince thing. And, but no, it's fine. AEW, you are correct, Jeff. Rampage was fantastic tonight. That was an excellent episode. And this was a good match. It was a fun match. Like you said, I do enjoy the Jericho and Jericho and Regal banter, his lordship. That was awesome. We kind of low key continue to get this confirmation that we're gonna get Zack Saber Jr. versus Bryan Danielson at Forbidden Door, which I'm super psyched for. That's gonna be an awesome match. But yeah.
Yeah, I really liked this match with Dante, even though I'm not the biggest Dante fan, and I just don't know what it is. I'm wondering if it's like all of his matches feel the same on his half of the match, like he always does the same moves, but I thought this was actually a great match. I really liked the spot where Moxley gave him a free shot. He's like, come on, man. He's like, go for it. And he gave him a weak little chop, like you could barely hear it, and he gave him 3 of them. And after the third one, he gave him one back and obliterated him with one. It was great. That was one of my favorite spots of the match. I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I think this match actually went way too long for Moxley. I think Moxley should have not had any trouble with Dante at all, considering he's about to go for the interim title, but they had a decent match.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I thought it went on a little too long. You kind of stole the last of my notes for this match. But no, yeah, I agree with you. I think it went on a little too long, especially for Rampage. I would have rather seen, honestly, I would have rather see Jade Cargill and Willow Nightingale get the extra 5 minutes because I thought they had a good match too. I wanted to see a little bit more of that actually. But yeah, no, I would have shortened this a little bit, and I do think Mox should have dealt with him a little bit more handedly. But again, I mean, the AEW roster is they book it in a way where everyone just seems so strong. So you're going to get these weird matches where it's like, yeah, Mox really should handle him pretty quickly. But they clearly like Dante Martin, and they clearly see him as a future guy. Maybe not the guy, but, a guy that's going to be there for years to come. So they're not going to job him out. So,
Yeah, I agree.
It's what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. So Mox actually, I'm not sure if you caught this. He hit him with an RKO. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of an ode to Randy Orton, who may be out for quite a while here with possible back surgery needed. They say he has 2 herniated discs in his back, and that is exactly what I have. My L4 and L5 are herniated, and there is no way in hell that I could be in a wrestling ring twice a week, possibly. So, yeah. Hope he gets that surgery, and if it works, I'm going to have to do some research on what he got done and might have to go get that done myself.
Yeah, Twitter said that they announced on Smackdown that he's getting the surgery, so he's going to be out for the year.
Oh, wow. I heard he won't be back till 2023 then, man. Ooh, they are missing some stars. Wow. Yep. All right, so after the RKO, he locked in a hammerlock submission. I had never seen Moxley use this before. I actually really liked that submission. It looks nasty. So, yeah, I thought that was a great match. Moxley wins by a hammerlock. Riddle does those RKOs a lot. Yeah, that's Riddle's new thing, man. He's kind of getting... It feels like he's being handed down the RKO. Next up, we had a promo with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Basically, Keith Lee was talking to Swerve saying, give me a reason why I shouldn't beat your ass right now. And Swerve was like, listen, man. He's like, that was a singles competition for championship gold. He's like, it was singles. He's like, you would have done the same thing. And Keith Lee actually went to walk away because I don't think he would have done the same thing. But Swerve kind of stopped him from walking away, and then we got Hobbs and Starks walking up, and it insinuated they were going to be having another match. Is that what you got from that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, a few things that I liked about this. So I did like Keith Lee's kind of bluntness. He kind of he forewent his usual, vernacular, the way he speaks. He was just like, he's like, I'm just gonna whoop your ass. Like,
Yeah.
why'd you do that? And then no, he would not have done the same thing that Swerve did because Keith Lee saved him.
Yep.
In the Battle Royal last week, which was a big deal for Keith Lee. He even said it twice. He's like, I saved you. Like, I wouldn't have done that to you. And then yeah, it seems like this feud with Team Taz isn't over. I have a feeling that they're gonna have another match, and I see Swerve turning on Keith Lee officially there.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I could see that too. I could see Swerve maybe even joining Team Taz.
I don't see that necessarily, but I do see that.
You see a turn coming.
Yeah.
Yep. Next up, we had the House of Black and the Lucha Brothers, or I guess Death Triangle promo. Nice little vignette there. I enjoyed that. Did what it was supposed to do. Was this basically Penta versus Malachi Black for the Atlantic Championship? Is that what this was promoting?
Yeah. So this was a little vignette that they played. Kind of both teams talking smack for the match on Dynamite next week, which is going to be a great show. I don't know if you saw the card. I'm going to tell you about the card later. But it's shaping up to be a really great Dynamite, and I really love this vignette. I thought it was great. I thought everyone kind of had their moment to shine in this. Pac kind of closed with a really funny, you're a creep from the Netherlands or something like that. That was really funny.
Yeah.
But I thought this was an excellent promo.
Yep, same. Juan says Shaq and Kobe is a no-go for me. Yeah, that's why we feel the turn coming, because you're not gonna say that and then stay together, because no. Next up was Bear Country versus the Acclaimed and the Gun Club. Who was Bear Country's partner here? Did they have a?
It was Leon Ruff.
Leon Ruff, that's who it was. I kept missing his name because I was actually making the thumbnail during this match.
Gotcha. This was a match that was booked so that way Max Caster could talk about what's going on right now. Loved his rap, thought it was fantastic. This match, Max Caster and the Gun Club, they made me smile. Obviously, I'm sure my demeanor tells it. I'm extremely frustrated with what we're going to be talking about later in the show. And they made me smile, and that was pretty valuable for me.
Yeah.
For me. Because I've been pretty pissed off since I got home from work, dealing with all this dumb shit in the news and
Yeah.
And then the way SmackDown went down, which I didn't watch, and hopefully nobody else watched it. I mean, I'm sure people did watch it, but
I can't believe they used it as a ratings grab. That's crazy.
well, we're gonna get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
We're gonna get it.
All right, so the Acclaim won this really fast, actually. The Acclaimed in the Gun Club, or Acclaimed in the Ass Boys. This was like a super quick squash.
Yeah. Again, this was just booked so that way Max Caster could
do
rap
the rap.
about the NDA. That's what this was for. And you know what? It was perfect. It was quick. Again, it made me smile. It definitely cheered me up. It was probably the happiest I'd been all night. So, I definitely liked it. Definitely appreciated it.
All right, next up we had Lexi Nair with Hook doing a quick little interview backstage. And like always, Hook didn't say anything, so Danhausen wound up showing up. Did Danhausen insinuate that they're going to be wrestling against some NJPW people, and is that going to be at Forbidden Door?
Well, no, so Lexi Nair announced it, and then Danhausen backed it up. So
okay.
Next week, presumably on Rampage, Hook is going to face a quote-unquote top prospect from the New Japan LA dojo.
Gotcha.
And then so Danhausen shows up to kind of say, like, we're going to destroy this guy. We're going to kill him. We're going to beat the crap out of him. And Hook's like, I got this. And then he walks away, and Danhausen's like, I guess he's got this. Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah, this is good. Love Danhausen. Love that Danhausen.
Absolutely. So, Juan in the chat, Max Caster, a potential main eventer. I really hope so.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if you transform him like Cena, but he really has that it factor for me. He's really good on the mic, in terms of promo and rapping. I mean, if you do one, you do the other, and he can do both fantastically.
Yeah.
He's got really nice moveset. He's got a good look. I mean, I'm a big Max Caster fan, big Acclaimed fan. So that would be awesome to someday see him as a main eventer. I think he will.
If we can get him in the gym and get him like super cut and maybe even a little bit bigger, he'll be top. Like he could be a top star, like big top star.
He doesn't need to be more cut to be a top star, but
I just understand. He looks lazy. That's all I'll say.
It's an awfully fetish comment of you.
It is actually. It is.
It is actually completely a fetish comment.
All right, so next up we had Willow Nightingale versus Jade Cargill for the TBS Championship. And, bro, anybody that's still a Jade Cargill doubter, you have no foot to stand on whatsoever anymore. This match was fantastic. Jade looked like a champion in this. Like this was an excellent match. I think Jade has hit another level. The training with Danielson is obvious now. Like, it is just obvious that it's working. I loved this match. Willow did a great job, too. They need to sign her. They need to sign her now.
Yeah, I thought this was an excellent match. I was really into it. I selfishly really like that Jade does the pedigree now. That's really cool. I hope she kind of keeps doing that. But yeah, no, this is an awesome match, really fun match that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, like I just wrote it down. The training is paying off. I mean, Danielson, I just love whatever he's doing with these girls, man. It's definitely paying off. It's looking good. Just imagine Mercedes here in this division one day. Like, oh.
I have a little bit of news on that too, but we'll get to that later.
Cool. We'll get to that too.
Yep, Jordan in the chat. 10 years from now, AEW's main event is sick, and it really is.
Yeah.
Juan saying, should Sasha Banks end Jade's streak, or should an AEW original / newcomer end it? That is, if Sasha Banks ends up in AEW, which is looking more likely. No, so I would actually have Chris Statlander become TBS champion, and I still think that's the right way to go. Absolutely. I will say this though, I'm not usually one for the day one booking, change everything around. But if Sasha shows up here, I think day one you have her beat Thunder Rosa for the world title.
Ooh, hell yeah! That's absolutely.
That's what I do. I still give Chris Statlander the TBS title, and kind of she's earned that. And she should definitely get that. Unless you really pivot and you give Statlander the world title, which I'd be okay with. But I mean, you're kind of already in this storyline.
Yeah, you're already here. You're already there.
We're already here, so I don't see a point in not doing that.
I think you hit it right on the head there. You know, give Thunder give her a bunch of weeks back to back of good matches to you know, build up a title defense. In the end, I agree. Have her do some sort of open challenge, and day one, just bam, take it.
Yeah.
Just like remember when Paige took it from? It was Sasha, wasn't it? No.
Oh.
Who did Paige?
No, it was
take
AJ Lee.
AJ Lee. There we go.
AJ.
Yeah, it was AJ.
Yeah, it was AJ Lee.
So yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So after the match, you know, of course, Jade wins. After the match, we got Kiera Hogan kind of putting on the beatdown, and Athena shows up. Athena hits her big twisting stunner off the top rope onto Kiera Hogan, but then she eats a big old boot from Jade with a big pump kick. Yeah, this was good. You know, I mean, it is what it is. I can't wait to see Statlander. Of course, Statlander came out as well. Sorry, I forgot about that part. So I can't wait to see Statlander versus Jade. I really think they could have a good like couple of matches, to be honest with you. Maybe the first one. I know this is gonna sound weird for AEW, but you know, maybe one of the first matches there should end in a DQ of some sort, because you know she's got the baddies. I see that look on your face, but it's part of wrestling, man. It is.
I'm just gonna hold my tongue.
I know.
That's strike 2 for you tonight. You're on strike 2. Fed
But
watch.
we could definitely do something where they have more than one match, is what I'm trying to get at. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, sure, definitely. I definitely would not end a championship match in a disqualification, though.
I guess that's true. But
I mean, like, I understand where you're coming from. Like that first match, maybe some sort of bullshit to kind of like make it more important for Statlander to win.
yeah.
But even then, I would have Jade win. Even I would have her win dirty. I would not have the match end in disqualification.
All right, that makes sense. So yeah, have Jade just win dirty. That makes sense. You know,
Yeah,
some interference.
I would
yeah,
absolutely go that route. I don't think there's any reason to have a championship match and a disqualification.
No, yeah, I was just like, my brain was just searching through reasons to end a match without, you know, or to have a second match. So yeah. Yep, I agree with that. So next up was a promo from Jay Lethal with Satnam Singh, cutting their promo on Samoa Joe. Again, I was doing some more stuff for the podcast on this. Did you catch this whole promo?
Yeah, it was a good promo. I mean, it just kind of hypes up that team, that trio.
Okay.
We'll see what happens with them. It wasn't much. There wasn't much there, but what was there was good. I mean, Satnam Singh, he's doing good. I mean, he's got that on-air presence. Again, we'll see how it translates to some singles competition and, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's so far it's so good. Nothing awful, but I mean, I wouldn't say it was anything to write home about, you know, necessarily.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually surprised we're not seeing more of Satnam Singh, because like he's got to be paying that dude a decent amount, being, you know, an ex-NBA player. And I'm just like, why aren't we seeing this guy? You know, but I don't know.
I think they're just taking their time. They know that a talent like that, you know, again, the AEW fan base isn't going to like, this is a different fan base than the other company.
Yeah.
If you're a big guy, you're going to have to be good at wrestling still to get over with the fans. And that's just what this is. They're not going to throw him out there and have him just kind of like test of strength and push a guy over and, you know, throw a jobber over, you know, behind him. Like they're not going to do a press slam. They're like, they want Satnam Singh to do well. And I think kind of Juan right now in the chat kind of really makes a good point. He thinks that Satnam Singh should end up in Ring of Honor, maybe dominate the men's division there. Still a newbie. Yeah, I agree with that. I think honestly that's the other thing that we're seeing with Satnam Singh. He's clearly working with the guys that are going to be Ring of Honor guys. You know what I mean? He's working with Jay Lethal. He's working with Sanjay Dutt. They are waiting for Samoa Joe to come back, who is the Ring of Honor TV champion. Like all these things are going on. Like we're just kind of, for me, this storyline's kind of in a hold formation until Ring of Honor takes off.
I guess,
which I'm expecting is going to be in July, because there's a pay-per-view in July. And I see that pay-per-view kind of kickstarting, and they'll have an announcement at the pay-per-view probably, or maybe before the pay-per-view.
I was going to say, the pay-per-view might be the announcement. That'd be a good spot to announce, you know, something.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so let's get up here. We got the main event, Darby Allin versus Bobby Fish. I kind of liked their beginning back and forth thing with Mark Henry. Darby said he was going to take Bobby Fish out, and Bobby Fish used one of my lines from back in the day, be like, "Where are you going to take me? We going to the Outback Steakhouse or something?" Like, that was great. I love that. So this match, man, Darby just, every time he impresses the hell out of me, Darby gets in the ring, dude. And I just don't know how this guy doesn't hurt himself. It's got to be because he just weighs like 110, 120 pounds, because his tope suicida is just absolute insanity when he throws himself through the ropes. And that spot where they were outside the ring, Bobby Fish was coming for, I guess he was going to smash him into the guardrail, and Darby tried to jump over him, but he clipped his legs. Man, Darby did basically a front flip and almost landed on his head. These guys beat the crap out of each other here. This was a great match.
Excuse me. Yeah, it was excellent. It was an awesome match. I really loved it. It was the match of the night, which, I mean, the match before it was also really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of notes from this because I was just kind of watching it. I was also, setting up for the podcast. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. Excellent match. Darby gets the win and, leads to a really cool post-match scuffle.
Yeah. So after Darby gets the win with his roll-up finisher, for some reason that thing, I forget the name of that finisher all the time, but it's basically where he crosses up his legs and he rolls them up. I know Excalibur says it too, but I just seem to miss it every time. Bobby Fish gets basically he gets the 1, 2, 3. Darby wins, and Bobby Fish just immediately gets up and starts kicking the crap out of Darby. He calls Kyle O'Reilly down to the ring, who brings a white chair, and the lights go out, and Sting has returned when the lights come back on. I did not see the bat in Sting's hand, even though I should have seen it, and Sting hits Kyle O'Reilly straight in the balls with his bat.
Yeah, it was a really cool looking hit because I also did not see the bat. And I was like, how the hell did, it looked like a magic trick. Like, how the hell did he do that?
And Jericho even mentioned it. He was like, I think Sting's another wizard, so we might get a Sting Jericho something maybe one day.
Right.
But
yeah, that was really cool.
And he even kicked the bat while it was still being held in Kyle O'Reilly's groin. Like, oof, that looked like it hurt. So yeah, that's how we finished off here. We finished off the night with Sting teleporting in. I was actually surprised at how quick Sting got to his spot. The lights were only off for a few seconds, but I'm guessing they did that with the editing for Rampage. If it was live, it might have been a little longer. But it was great. I loved it. Sting has returned. Darby essentially did the same thing to Bobby Fish that he did to Sting, and looks like he may have broken his ankle. We'll see what they say in the storyline about that, but put the chair around his leg and smashed it with a coffin drop. So, excellent episode of Rampage, as always. I can't wait for Dynamite next week. And then I will be on the road to Forbidden Door.
When are you flying out to Chicago?
We're going to be leaving early Saturday morning. It's about a 12-hour drive, so we'll be getting there Saturday night, get the hotel room, and then figure out what to do on Sunday.
Okay. And when are you what time are you leaving Saturday morning?
I don't know yet. We haven't planned that far yet.
Okay. We have to figure out how we're going to do the pre-show. I mean, unless you're not a part of it.
No, I'll probably just be on Discord audio if anything, but yeah, the pod will be at your place. I'll have the laptop there.
Gotcha. Jordan in the chat saying that Sting is so effing over. It was in the duster sleeve.
It was in the duster sleeve? Oh, so he had the bat hidden up his sleeve and he dropped it down. Okay.
Yeah. All right, Juan's asking if you're going to be doing a vlog for the channel.
I actually am. I bought a special camera and everything. Yes. I will be doing a bunch of videos, probably posting some shorts as I go along. It's gonna be pretty cool. So, yep.
Yeah. All right. So you want to run through the preview real quick, or do you want to end with the preview?
Run through the preview of what we got for Dynamite real quick, and then we can go. We'll go straight into the Vince news.
Gotcha. All right. So we have 3 matches announced for Dynamite right now. We have Will Ospreay and Aussie Open versus Orange Cassidy and Roppongi Vice. I think this is going to be a really fun match. Again, I think there's only 3 matches announced right now, and I think all 3 of the matches are going to be awesome.
Heck yeah.
Jordan in the chat saying, if I make a trip up to Chicago, Jeff, we need to record a YouTube short.
Oh, absolutely, bro. Absolutely.
All right. Next up, we have the final. Well, not. I guess it is the final because I don't know what New Japan's doing, but it's the All Atlantic qualifier match. Malachi Black versus Penta Oscuro. The winner of that match will go on to the 4-way dance at Forbidden Door for the championship.
That match is gonna be so good.
It really is. I can't wait to see who they're gonna put in there with New Japan.
Dude, though, anybody from Death Triangle versus anybody from House of Black, it's like magic in the ring. Their chemistry is so good.
Right. Yeah, completely agree. And then lastly announced, we have a pretty cool match, actually. We have Jon Moxley teaming with Tanahashi to face Chris Jericho and Lance Archer.
Whoa. Okay.
Yep, that's good. That's going to be a dope match. It's going to be Tanahashi's... Is that his first national TV match in the States? I think it is.
Yeah, he's only been wrestling NJPW Strong, I believe.
Yeah, so that's going to be awesome. Not a lot announced right now, which means we're probably going to get some cool stuff Wednesday night that we don't know about yet. Let's see here. And then, so the card real quick for Forbidden Door, because we did get a new match announced that Jordan alluded to earlier. So right now we have the Interim World Championship match, AEW World Championship match. Excuse me, I need to clarify that for this show. Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. And again, that'll be for the Interim World Championship. We have the All-Atlantic Championship 4-way dance. It's going to be Miro versus Pac versus the winner of the Malachi Black Penta match, and also a selection from New Japan Pro Wrestling. We have Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Minoru Suzuki versus Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and I keep forgetting his name. It's Sho Umino. Yeah, Umino.
Yeah.
Sorry. Which I also saw someone refer to this match as Uncle Eddie with Jon Moxley's kids, which I thought was hilarious. Jordan saying that Tanahashi worked TNA back in the day.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
There you go. All right, and then next we have the AEW Women's Championship match, Thunder Rosa defending against Toni Storm.
Yes.
We have the IWGP US title, Will Ospreay defending against Orange Cassidy.
Oh, wow, that's going to be for the belt? Ooh.
Yes. And as I booked it, you may give me the credit now. You may now say, oh man, Rome, you know your stuff. It is a winner-take-all match. IWGP and Ring of Honor tag titles on the line. FTR versus Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb versus Roppongi Vice in a 3-way dance tag team match.
Ooh. FTR going to have 3 belts after this. Woo, let's go.
Yep, and they're going to set up for All Out where they will beat the Bucks for the titles.
Hell yeah.
And then after that show, we'll be sitting there doing the post-pod. You'll be like, damn, Rome really booked this. This son of a bitch, he really did it.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Yeah, and that is the card for Forbidden Door. We have no Rampage matches announced. Although, again, we are going to get Hook in action against a New Japan LA Dojo guy on Friday. But we don't know who yet.
I'm wondering who that's going to be. I wonder if it's going to be an American guy from LA Dojo or if it's going to be someone from actual Japan. Because the LA Dojo is a lot of American guys who are training under the New Japan name, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they've specified the LA Dojo, so safe to assume it's going to be someone from the LA Dojo.
We shall see. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. I'll just go ahead and give you the floor. You can go ahead and get started there.
All right. Well, I just want to start off by saying I don't want to upset anybody that's potentially listening to this podcast, watching the stream, anything like that. But I'm just going to let you know, if you're going to continue to support that company, I legitimately have a problem with you. I just want to let that be known first. I mean, I'm all for conversation and discussing why, but I mean, after seeing what I saw on SmackDown, I mean, I didn't watch SmackDown, but Twitter showed me enough clips. All I need to know. To try to kind of keep hold on real quick. Let's look at the chat. We got some chats real quick. Juan saying after Dynamite went off the air, TK kept repeating, I'm sorry to the crowd. He didn't explain why. Was that a rib intended toward Vince for his actions?
I was actually just typing the answer to this out into chat. It is because after the concerto, Jungle Boy's head was bleeding. So I think he was directing the I'm sorry towards his family, possibly, but that is what he was referencing the I'm sorry to, was Jungle Boy's head.
And Jordan in the chat also saying hashtag top guys.
Top guys.
But I mean, yeah, so we're gonna get into this news. Some of the news was news that kind of went throughout the day. I'm just gonna touch on pretty much all of it, you know. So I'm gonna start with some Fightful reporting. So this was a big update that was posted earlier today about Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and reactions to the changes in WWE. WWE announced that Vince McMahon was voluntarily stepping down as CEO as a special committee of the WWE board is conducting an investigation into misconduct. Stephanie McMahon will serve as interim CEO and interim chairwoman just weeks after she stepped away from the company. In the hours that followed, Fightful has spoken to well over a dozen employees, staff, talent, and former employees who have worked with the McMahons, both close and at a distance. Beyond Vince McMahon stepping down as CEO, he will retain his creative duties and actually appear on SmackDown tonight, which he did, and we will discuss that when we get there. In what CNBC claimed as an in-character appearance. The immediate reaction that Fightful got when speaking to people in the company was frustration, as several said they viewed the move as a largely superficial move. Vince's personal responsibilities in running the company have dwindled in recent years, as he erected a team led by Nick Khan to carry WWE into the next generation. One talent said they saw Vince appearing on screen as a cheap ratings ploy in the middle of something serious, and don't expect much of the culture or presentation of WWE to change with McMahon still around and in control of creative. And that was a quote from someone backstage. As long as Vince McMahon still has his creative duties, nothing can change. What could possibly be different? That was another quote.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, this is a continuation of the quote I just finished. If he asks something of Stephanie as interim CEO, is she going to say no? One wrestler said. Great points raised by whoever this wrestler is, by the way. When they, we texted about it this morning, because you texted me, because I had just gone into work and I was eating some breakfast, and you texted me that, Stephanie's the new CEO, and like, my first thought is like, all right, so that means nothing's changing. That's what this means. This means that nothing's changing. The board allowed Vince McMahon to make his daughter the CEO and interim chairwoman, right? And it's like, and Vince is still in the company. Vince is still in the company, completely in charge of creative. Basically, no change in what he's doing, except he has a puppet now at the helm. And that was the moment where I was like, all right, so yeah, this is like, because yesterday, and when everything went down on Wednesday, I was with you. I was like, wow, this could be change. Finally, we get change, and then we can even, we were discussing like watching the product again. Like that was a realistic conversation we had. That conversation is fucking out the window today. Like, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Let me continue with this Fightful report because there's a lot to go through. There are numerous sources across multiple departments in WWE who will have stated to Fightful that they will communicate to higher up and possibly Vince McMahon himself that appearing on screen in character isn't a good idea. Spoiler alert, it didn't matter. He was on SmackDown tonight. Let's see. One wrestler feared that McMahon would attempt to turn this into a Vince McMahon versus the world type narrative that existed after the steroid trial, as seen in Stephanie McMahon's post 9/11 speech on SmackDown. However, the one source that we spoke to that was close to Vince now and during those eras agreed this is the biggest threat to McMahon's power since the steroid trial. Fightful was told the same that CNBC was, that the script for SmackDown tonight was torn up this morning. It was written the night before. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Well,
I guess if it was written the night before, tearing it up doesn't matter too much.
Well, you know. Fightful noted recently that Stephanie McMahon was finally removed from internal production mailing lists, but was added back by the next show. With her stepping back in, there was a lot of optimism from talent specifically, as she's well liked by them. One top star said they didn't really know what was going on, but that they've heard, in theory, Stephanie is my boss, and that fucking rules. One former employee that worked directly with Stephanie before her team was disassembled said the tone was always that she would be in that role eventually. She knows and breathes the business, and she's seamless. They also noted that the narrative around friction between Nick Khan and Stephanie wasn't something that they'd personally experienced. That being said, there were some reports going around today about Nick Khan and Stephanie not getting along. During the chat, saying that Vince's speech tonight was very Trump-like. To get together my ass. Yeah, no, it definitely gave me some MAGA, MAGA vibes. I was not feeling that at all. I agree with you on that. Let's see. A female talent talking to Fightful said that they think things can only get better from this point, which implies that this employee thinks that things are like, oh, it can't get worse. It can only get better. Yeah. Juan saying, I was definitely surprised Stephanie didn't make any sort of appearance tonight, considering she was just appointed as new CEO. Everyone definitely deserved an apology from Vince, but that didn't happen.
You got the exact opposite of an apology.
Exact opposite of an apology. That's the thing. It was funny because I was texting you, Jeff, and you said you were walking down the shoreline, and I was like, that sounds so peaceful.
I was literally walking down the shore of a river.
It couldn't have been any different. I was just sitting here, just in distress, and I was like, I'm so mad right now, and you're off somewhere fucking peacefully enjoying a peaceful stroll along the sun is setting and the shore is there and it's beautiful, and I'm just like, I'm just here.
So funny story, I have to share this with you. So immediately after I texted you, I'm walking next to a river. So I had put my name in for a restaurant that was on this said river, right? And right after I texted you that we were walking, they messaged me and said, hey, your table's ready. So as I walk in the door, the girl is like, we have a little bit of an issue here. The cooks all basically left. There's no one to cook anymore, so you can only get drinks. And I was like, what? And right as she's saying that, we're like leaving, of course, right? Because I went there for food. There's a girl outside that obviously worked there, and she's like frantically on the phone with someone. And she's like, so what, are you quitting right now? Like, are you quitting? And then they just hung up the phone, and she was like, okay, I think they just quit. And we were like, wow, that was crazy.
Yeah, I could feel that.
So yeah, I went from that peaceful river to being like, God damn it.
Still more peaceful than what I was dealing with. Jordan saying he napped from 7 to 9. Saw it on Twitter. Yeah, dude, same. I did not. Dude. For the record, once again, I just want to make it very clear that I knew this was a ratings ploy, and I absolutely was not going to be watching SmackDown tonight.
Yeah. And for those of you that sang Vince's song as he came out, you should be fucking ashamed of yourselves. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna get there, and Juan's comment as well. I will get there in time. I'm trying to go through a timeline. You know what I mean? But we'll get there.
Was that audio pumped in? Like, it had to be. Nobody in that audience was really cheering for him, were they? Jesus Christ.
I don't know, man. They were showing people. I don't know. I saw it on Twitter. They were showing people.
Those are seat fillers, man. They're planted.
I don't know. So let me continue. Let's see. So, another wrestler was asked about, oh, and I'm sorry, the female talent. Let's go over this one.
Yes.
Female talent talking to Fightful said they think things can only get better from this point, and was hopeful that both the investigation and Stephanie as interim CEO would lead to better treatment for women in the company across the board. Talent went as far as to say they hope it results in women getting treated and paid equal to men there. Keep in mind, this comment is really kind of telling you all you need to know about how women are treated in this company. As if the fucking story breaking on Wednesday didn't tell you how women are treated in this company. But,
Yeah,
okay.
dude. Like, remember, the more that keeps coming out, the more I just go back to what Serena Deeb said a couple weeks ago in her promo. I'm just like, dude, like, she was telling us,
Yeah. Another quote, I imagine it won't change much, but I love Steph, so that's good, said another top talent. I imagine Vince keeps his position in creative, and once the investigation is over, he'll take back over.
Yeah. Now,
let's see. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Real quick, what I was going to say, what I see actually happened here is I think Nick Khan is almost for sure the one who leaked this or emailed this to the board. I think he's trying to do this, hostile takeover of let's get this company out of the McMahon's hands. Let's get it sold to Disney and let's make our billions and let's, be done with it. And I think putting Stephanie in there was like a contingency plan by Vince. Like, I think he was like, nope, Stephanie's going in there. And, that's his way of keeping his foot in the door. I really do.
Yep. So continuing on.
Yep.
Nearly unanimously, staff, employees, and talent expect John Laurinaitis to be gone from the company. Though one said, as long as Vince is around, he'll probably just come back unless he's Vince's latest scapegoat. Another talent said, from a creative aspect, I'm hoping that things change, but I doubt they will. Again, these people work there, and none of them have anything good to say. There's no, things are fine, whatever. No.
That's
everyone,
bad, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. As far as talent go, on Wednesday, they were briefed and told the Wall Street Journal had published a report about WWE with allegations that we and our board of directors take seriously. We are cooperating fully with the investigation. And then there was a follow-up message that said, in the meantime, it's business as usual. Vince will be at TV on Friday. Thank you. This morning, upon her the announcement of her becoming the interim CEO and chairwoman, Stephanie McMahon reached out to staff saying, I will be returning from my leave of absence and assuming the role of interim chairwoman and CEO. I love our company and I'm excited to continue to work with our president and chief revenue officer, Nick Khan, and our chief financial and administrative officer, Frank Riddick. And of course, I look forward to working with all of you. My door is always open.
That sounds like something that somebody who's actually taking over would say. You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, Jordan in the chat, #fire Kevin Dunn.
Oh,
yes,
absolutely.
Please. Yes, please. Absolutely. He's one of the 4 that needs to go.
So listen to this. So remember last night when you messaged me that somebody may be guilty of insider trading because of the, all the shares that changed hands real quick there at the end of the trading day?
Yeah.
So somebody messaged all of these big Twitter accounts that were putting that story out, and they demanded that they take that story down because they all took the story down at the same time and redacted their stories. So
yeah,
there's somebody is going after people that are saying that, right? Their excuse to saying how that's not true is that Kevin Dunn's not on the board, so he had no idea that this was happening. Well, how does that prove anything? If I was on the board of my company, I could easily tell anyone in my company, yo, bro, this shit's going down. You might want to fucking blah, 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 blah. It's that simple. Just because he's not on the board proves nothing. That was one of the most ridiculous things I had ever read. They're like, this proves that he didn't know. And I'm like, you're out of your mind.
And that's just where, again, today, the tone of the day is cynicism. I don't think anything's going to get better from this. I don't think that the company is going to right the wrong. Again, on Wednesday, I was feeling optimistic. I thought that there was going to be change on the horizon. I expected, not for Vince to get thrown out right away, but I expected for, change to come, and clearly change is not coming. Clearly, this is, an investigation being run that's not going to show anything. Vince has the power to name his successor to interim CEO, and he chooses his daughter, and he's still working in the company as head of creative, and it's just like nothing's gonna fucking change. No. It's not. Like, we can't sit here and lie to ourselves and just like, oh yeah, things are gonna change is coming. Like, no, we just can't do that. Yeah. Like, this story is no longer relevant. It's just bullshit. It's just tacky bullshit that, the company's going to sweep it under the rug like they always do. And then it'll just be another bullet point on the list of things that Vince McMahon has done. And we'll do another podcast when the next thing happens. And I'll read the list again. And it'll also include the paralegal, which, like, on a side note, fuck the guy that revealed her information. Like, oh my God, like, I've been so mad today about so many things. And, like, the fact that, for those that don't know, I'm not going to say who, and I'm not going to say her name, because that's gross. But, like, somebody leaked her name and her information on Twitter. Yeah. Like, why?
It had
for this
to be
fucking cult. For this fucking cult that exists. Where it's the cult of McMahon. Where it's just, like, it's just this blind fucking loyalty that drives me fucking insane. And I don't appreciate, or at this point honestly accept, but I grew up with it argument. And I know that people in the chat, like Sean in the last stream, he said that, like, I get it because I was that person too. Yeah. But like nothing's going to change, because here's the thing, right? So, like, I'm watching, like, the Smackdown thing. I guess we can get into the Smackdown thing now. I think my notes are caught up in terms of before Smackdown.
On your point, real quick, on the point you just said about, for those of us that grew up with it, because I made it a point to say that was for me too, right?
Yeah.
After this new story and after tonight, not turning on Smackdown was easy as fucking walking my dog, dude. Like, I didn't even blink an eye. I was like, yep, don't even give a fuck. So, yeah, that's no longer the case for me.
And I'm proud of you, because I know it, like, we joke about it a lot, but I understand, as someone who also had to do it, it's an extremely difficult thing to do. Yeah. You go from watching this show for years. For years, you go from watching this show to just, you need to cut off of it. It's just, you got to cut it off. And, like, it's not easy. It's absolutely not an easy thing. But, yeah, so it's just wild to me. This cult mentality that people have for this company and for Vince McMahon, and it fucking disgusts me. Leading up to TV, despite the last several days, McMahon was joking around during the production meeting before the TV taping today, and wasn't selling anything at all, as described by PW Insider. Multiple sources said to PW Insider that he was in a great mood.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, don't worry, Juan. Hold on, Juan. I have heard about Brock returning tonight, and we will talk about that too. Just Vince kind of is the big story. Anyway, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, that made me forget what I was saying. I did not know Brock returned tonight, so at least that's a thing.
Don't you know? They announced the SummerSlam main event. It's Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Aren't you excited, Jeff? Are you excited for the main event of SmackDown? Let me tell you something, or since Juan's bringing it up, because I did my research today. I have plenty of fun little factoids and so many things for our beautiful viewers. So here is every single main event, no, not even main event, every single pay-per-view match that Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns have ever had. Please count for me, Jeffrey. WrestleMania 2015. Fastlane 2016, SummerSlam 2017, WrestleMania 2018, Greatest Royal Rumble, SummerSlam 2018. Keep in mind, Greatest Royal Rumble happened between WrestleMania and SummerSlam.
You're confusing me here. Are we at 6 now?
Crown Jewel 2021, WrestleMania 38, and now SummerSlam 2022. And if you want to count it, There was also it was also the plan for fall 2018, but Reigns ended up taking time off. And now, my friends, I would like to quote a quote that Jordan has given in the chat that has rung true all these years. And that quote is, "I would like to think that maybe this company will be better after Vince McMahon is dead. But the fact is, it's going to be taken over by his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law." Jeff, who said that?
The gentleman who is flipping off the screen at the moment, CM Punk.
So, thank you, Jordan, because I did actually have that quote saved. I was going to drop it at some point tonight, but here we are. So, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, so let's carry on, shall we? You know, I know we talked. All right, no, you know what? The Brock thing, right? So, like, it's such a stupid fucking thing that they have no stars, right? They have no stars, and your idea is let's bring Brock back. Like, just push someone else.
And that's
anybody.
That's
fucking
literally
anybody. Pick a guy. Take Madcap Moss. I don't even know what the fuck a Madcap Moss is. But you know what? He's there. Fucking have him win some matches between now and SummerSlam. Have him beat Roman. Anybody.
Dude.
I'm begging this company. No, I'm not even begging because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
But it's just maddening to see it happen. Where it's like, just anybody. Pick somebody.
That's all they know how to do now, too. Like, every time they need some ratings, they're like, okay, who's in the back pocket? We got Cena ready? No Cena? All right, go call Brock. Is The Rock ready yet? No Rock yet. Okay, what about Cena? No Cena. Okay, call Brock. Like, they just go down the list.
And it's just disgusting. And I know we're not, we're talking about booking, which again, booking is nowhere near as important as the main story, but at the same time, it's worth talking about, and it's worth critiquing because it's just dog shit. And like, I'm just tired. I'm tired of this company existing. I don't watch this company anymore, but I'm just tired of seeing it on my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't want to see it anymore.
But, like we were saying the other night, if by some miracle, if we get Vince gone, Dunn gone, Laurinaitis gone, and who was the fourth that I had? There was 4 that we named, wasn't there?
It was Dunn, it was Laurinaitis, it was Pritchard, and it was
there we
McMahon.
Go. So if we can get rid of those 4, I don't even care if Stephanie winds up becoming the full-time CEO. If we can get those 4 guys gone to where technically they are gone, I will probably start watching the product again. But until then,
I'd have to consider it. But I mean, again, like I agree with you to an extent. I do think there's a future where that company is watchable.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Stephanie is part of that or not. I can't 100% say for sure. Yeah. I am disappointed a little bit in Jordan right now that he does not know what a Madcap Moss is. Usually he's our go-to stactician. He does not know, and I need him to find that out for me.
He's quoting Pat McAfee there, I'm pretty sure. I believe that is what Pat McAfee said the first time.
So McAfee and I made the same joke. That's unfortunate. Actually, I'm not going to shit on Pat McAfee. I like Pat McAfee. Not because of SmackDown, but just because of his stuff in general.
He makes it semi-watchable. McAfee's great.
Yeah, no, he's hilarious. Advogado in the chat. How are people still watching it? I don't know. I really don't understand. That's kind of what we opened with when we started talking about the Vince stuff. I don't understand how people watch it. I don't understand. It's a cult. Like, that's where we're at now. It goes beyond being loyal to a brand, and you see it from how the fans reacted when he came out tonight. Like, it's a cult. You can't fucking tell me it's not a cult. Like, these people are brainwashed. This man comes out and like people are bowing down to him and like singing his theme song and cheering him. And I'm just like sitting here watching this unfold on Twitter, and I'm like, what the fuck?
What does this dude have to do for you to boo him? Like, you got to murder
that's what
a baby
I'm saying.
on
Like,
live
I don't even know if there's
something?
anything. I don't know if there's anything he can do. He's untouchable. Like, and again, I don't want to be Mr. Cynical. I really don't like being that. I do consider myself a glass half full kind of guy. Hope for the best, and expect the worst. But still hope for the best. But like here, it's like there's no hope. Like, it feels hopeless. I feel like it's just like nothing's gonna change. It's Roman versus Brock at SummerSlam. Vince is in charge of creative. Vince has no accountability whatsoever, and it's wild. Juan in the chat saying, "A la Seth Rollins cashing in during WrestleMania." Seth wins Money in the Bank and cashes in during main event of SummerSlam and ends Roman's reign. But here's the problem, right? Like they've already fucking done that too. Like that's not like we can't keep doing this. Like
that. I actually think that's going to happen at the Battle for the Castle. I think Seth is going to cash in after Drew McIntyre defeats Roman Reigns. Seth will cash in after that.
So Jordan also saying, "Oh hell no, I didn't quote McAfee. I didn't know he said that." And yeah, no effing clue what dude's name means. It's terrible. It is terrible. But you know what? It's something. Like put somebody out there to win the title. Riddle lost tonight. I don't like Matt Riddle, but fucking have Matt Riddle win the title. Like just somebody. You got to give it to somebody. You got to do something fresh.
Yep.
But though, you know what? You don't have to do anything fresh, and that's the thing. You don't. Because people are still going to watch. People are still going to cheer. You know, all that shit happened with Vince tonight. And you know what happened on Twitter after the Vince McMahon promo? Everybody watched SmackDown. And I'm like, you're all part of the fucking problem. Like, and again, I don't want to, like, if any of our viewers watched it, you know, I love you. But, like, I need to know, apart from the fact that you grew up watching it, why did you watch it? Advogado saying, meanwhile, Dynamite only got 700,000 viewers this past week. TV actually was down all across the boards. It was actually an historically low night for TV from what Meltzer was saying.
And then
in general, everybody was down. They were still number one on cable, I believe.
I think Juan deleted his message there saying Clash was before Money in the Bank. No, Money in the Bank's July 2nd, Clash at the Castle September 3rd. So you'll have July, August, September. You'll have like pretty much 3 months of Seth with the briefcase.
Yep. Let's see here. Let's try to get a little bit back on track. Let's see here. So Brandon Thurston, who from WrestleNomics, he was on Busted Open today. And he said the following in regards to all of this going on with Vince. I'm skeptical that much is going to change for Vince day to day. I think he's still going to go to TV. He's still going to work in the office at WWE headquarters. I know that Stephanie is going to be the interim CEO, but I've heard from many people that Stephanie and Kevin Dunn don't like each other. And as long as someone like Kevin Dunn has a job in WWE, this seems to be for public consumption. Looking around at some of the headlines that I see in mainstream media today, which I texted you about this morning. You said that, like, oh, look, this is great. Their change is coming. And I said, no, this is just them so the media headlines can put out the headline, Vince McMahon steps down.
Yep.
And then very small asterisks at the bottom of the article, he's still at the company. Like,
yeah.
No.
And I don't think I texted you this back, but basically all the mainstream media are owned by like Fox or NBC, and they both have a stake in the company, so they don't want to put out any, bad stories. They're only going to try to put out fires. So
yeah, unless they want to buy the company.
Yeah, actually, to be honest about those ratings there, Advogado, I think that this is one of the rare times where there was a glitch in the ratings. It's happened a few times in the past when there's a big sporting event. In a couple of weeks, they may add a correction to it. So watch, I bet you in about 2 or 3 weeks, there's going to be a correction to this week's numbers.
So I also actually kind of agree with Jordan saying in the chat. He's talking about Nielsen being inaccurate. How many Nielsen surveys have any of us filled out? I've never filled one out.
So you actually don't fill it out anymore. If you have cable TV like Xfinity, what I have, you are actually counted on the Nielsen just by what you're watching.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually really good to hear. I like that.
Yeah. Because there's actually a selection. You can go into your settings and view the Nielsen policy. And it does not account for outside the US. That is what I've always been trying to wonder why they don't do that, but it's because it's for US advertisers. The ratings are just for the advertisers, really.
Yeah, we're one of the very few fandoms, I think, in the world that give a shit about TV ratings.
Yeah. And for those of you that wonder if this 700,000 number is correct, this is the main reason why the overall number is not what matters, and it's the demo. They were still at the top of the chain in the demo, even though they were down 200,000 viewers. The demo is what matters because that's who the advertisers are targeting. So as long as that number stays high, they're fine with it. You know what I mean? So just for those of you who pay attention to that.
Right, but I'll also make the defense, and this is just factual, that TV was down everywhere. Nobody was watching TV.
Altogether, viewership was down. Yep.
Yeah, like it was actually, I think the number that they said was it was like the lowest watched night of TV since like 2016 or something like that. Yeah. It was just an abnormal, I mean, like maybe it was a lot of people graduating from schools and just people weren't watching TV. But yeah, there was just a lot of not TV watching going on this past Wednesday. So all right, so we get to the point where SmackDown itself happens. Vince opens the show, and he is met with thunderous applause. He is met with fans bowing down. He's met with fans cheering him, applauding him. You can hear it. You can see it. Like they were showing people, like it's disgusting to me. It's just really sad, and it's really disgusting. Again, just for the record, because I know I've said it a few times, if there's anyone watching in the chat who watched SmackDown tonight, I would just like you to please leave a comment and communicate with me. Let's have some dialogue, because I'm more than willing to sit down and have a conversation. But I gotta know why. I just gotta know. I don't think anyone at this point would still be here listening if they were watching and they watched WWE. But I would just let's get some discourse going so I can try to understand. Because I'm not the kind of person to shit on people for liking what they like, or I don't judge. You do you, as long as you don't interrupt me being me. That's how I view life, right? So but this is something that just I'm at the point of frustration where it's I don't know how you're fucking watching this show. I don't know how you're cheering for this guy. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
Yeah, the cheering for him, that actually bothers me. That actually bothers me that people were doing the whole bow down thing still. I get it. If you're just straight up being a sheep, because every time he comes out, that's the reaction that he always used to get. But he no longer deserves that. So if you're just still blindly being a sheep, I'm in the audience, I got to do the thing, then whatever. But anybody who is really still oh my God, I love Vince, what's the matter with you, man?
Yeah, and it's wild, and it really makes you think that, we talk about these Twitter bots, but and yes, they exist, but there are legitimately people on Twitter who are like this, and they're really like this in real life. This is not a facade. These people legitimately praise this company and praise Vince McMahon. And look, I get it. Again, I grew up with the product, and Vince McMahon there is some good that he's done in wrestling. Not a lot, but there is some good that he's done. And I'm not going to completely take away his legacy completely. But we can't sit here and look at one half of the guy and completely disregard the other half that, has sex with women without consent, that is racist, homophobic. I don't even have enough fingers on my hand to count everything. And it's just we're sitting here where nothing's going to change. He's going, I guarantee you, 3 months from now, not even 3 months. Let's go with a month and a half. Month and a half from now, it's gonna everything's gonna die down. Everyone who doesn't care about wrestling is going to move on, because that's how this works. The mainstream media will move on, and then they're gonna release a little a little snippet on a Friday afternoon that they found that McMahon did do these things, but it was all his money, and he's cleared of any wrongdoing.
Yeah.
And he will reassume his role as CEO and chairman, and Brock and Roman will main event SummerSlam. And it's what's changed? Honestly, what's changed?
Yeah, nothing.
So to get into what he actually said, on Jordan in the chat, my uncle, he's 38, grandma's last child, 8 months older than me. He has a massive WWF block logo tattoo across his entire back. He watched SmackDown tonight. You know, and that's just, I don't know, it's disappointing. Again, like, I get it. I do, I really do, because it used to be super important to me as well. But, like, I can't sit here and defend it. Jordan, I want you to ask him, like, why he still watches. What about it? And, like, I don't know, does he watch other pro wrestling, or is it just WWE? Is he, like, casual? Like, I want to know some of the details. I don't want to pry, but I would love to know some more details on this. In the meantime, though, I am going to say what Vince said on SmackDown. So Vince opens the show, he comes out to applause, and he says, "I'm here to simply remind you of the 4 words we just saw in what we call the WWE signature. Those 4 words are then, now, forever, and the most important word is together. Welcome to SmackDown."
So I hated that because to me, that really felt like he was just like, you guys got my back on this, right? Like, that's what I felt like he was saying.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's also how I read it, too. I was like, you guys love me. We're in this together.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you're a part of that, again, like, I just want to say, if you're a part of that, fuck you. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I want this podcast and this channel to do well, and I want us to succeed. I really do. But, like, if you're vibing with Vince McMahon after the decades of bullshit, like, and I'm speaking for myself, Jeff, you can agree if you want. Like, I don't need your view. I don't need that. I don't need your view.
I'll take this. I'll take the sub.
He'll take the sub. I do this for fun. I mean, obviously, the bigger we get, the more fun it'll get.
Yeah.
Sure, but it's like, again, like I love pro wrestling, and I do this for the fun of it. Like, I have a day job, and like it, like, as do you. You know, we're not in this to get rich or anything, or just get rich.
I mean, as you can see with all of the equipment, this has cost me much more than we'll ever probably make.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But it's just like, I just do it because I love it, and it's just, if you're
Juan,
again, if you vibe with it, again, I'm willing to have a conversation, a dialogue. I'm not the type of person who closes off dialogue.
Thank you, John. We appreciate it, John.
Yeah, we got John's view. Listen, everyone here right now is fucking awesome, and we love you guys.
Yeah.
Juan saying, McMahon saying together reminds me of him passing his employee around with John Laurinaitis. Yeah, right? Jordan saying he watches other stuff with me and because of me. He grew up with WWF, WCW, and ECW, so his weird allegiance now is peculiar. He told me a day or so ago, if McMahon's are out of WWE, he'll probably stop watching wrestling altogether. That's fucking wild to me.
It feels like they I'll even say it felt like I was like brainwashed into like not wanting to stop watching them, you know what I mean? Like, there was something that was like hard to detach from, but this cut it like a cord, you know what I mean? So
yeah, well, again, it's a cult. Like, that's why I keep saying it, and I'm going to refer to it moving forward. Like, that is not a fandom. Like, the people, like, because again, the ratings have gone down, and like right now, who's watching WWE are the diehards, they're never going away. Like, those are the cultists. Those are the ones who are brainwashed. Those are the ones who are there forever. Vince McMahon could, like, I was going to say Vince McMahon could kill a man on live TV, but he's already done that. So it's like, never mind. I resign that statement. I don't know what he could do at this point to get in trouble. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. And he's going to have to die to leave WWE. And again, I'm also the kind of person you know, in Assassin's Creed, when Ezio's like, show respect for the dead, and like he's all like requiescat de pace and stuff like that. Like, that's me. Like, I don't care how much I dislike you. Like, if someone were to drop dead tomorrow, my worst enemy, I would never speak ill of them. Like, you don't speak ill of the dead. It's just, there's no point to it. And it's just like, but Vince, it's just like, man, you're a real piece of shit. Like, I don't think anybody, like, I don't know. Juan saying he probably doesn't know any better. Sure, he isn't willing to watch AEW or any other wrestling company. Oh, he's talking about Jordan's.
I think Jordan said he watches everything, but.
Advogado says he hasn't watched in 10 years. Tried watching Raw about 6 months ago.
Couldn't get through
an hour. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, I mean, even when I tried watching recently, like, I would be getting up and doing things every 10 minutes because it's boring as fuck.
Right. All right. Well, so I actually also got a post Smackdown appearance Fightful report in for everyone.
Okay.
And this is backstage notes and reactions to Vince's Smackdown appearance. Jordan saying he's going to GCW with me on July 3rd. Nice. All right, yeah, you gotta try to break that programming down. You gotta save them. And like, it's on, like, I don't want to put that on you, Jordan, but that's on you, man. You gotta get it done.
Like, disregard.
All right, so several WWE talent reached out to Fightful after Vince's SmackDown appearance. So Fightful did not reach out to them; they reached out to Fightful.
Oh wow, okay.
Some additional notes on the segment before we get into the comments. It wasn't featured on internal scripts as of 5:30 p.m. Eastern, and it wasn't on the rundown that Fightful gained access to at 7:50 p.m. One person suggested that the segment did not happen as originally planned this morning. Vince was said to have been in a good mood backstage and not outwardly reacting to the investigation. Business as usual was a term constantly reiterated backstage today. Few knew what Vince was going to say to kick off the show. What happened was Vince effectively explaining the then, now, forever together tagline. Reactions that Fightful received, unsolicited, so again, they did not ask for these, ranged from confused to disappointed to quote-unquote enraged. A top talent immediately contacted Fightful and said it was tone-deaf and embarrassing, and believed it was his way of putting himself on a screen as a power move to lessen the impact of an investigation's findings. This is one of their top stars. We don't know who, because it's unanimous.
Charlotte.
I don't know, but a top talent immediately. So we're talking, like, according to Fightful, this promo ends, and this top talent is just like, "Hey, Sean Ross Sapp, how you doing? This is how I feel." Like, that says a lot, especially if it's a top talent, because those top talents are usually locker room leaders, and so you kind of look to them, and if, like, they're acting, if this is how they feel, you know. Another comment, a former top talent who left the company said, "I'm happy it didn't last long, so I didn't have to sit through whatever bullshit he was going to say. But it shows that he has no accountability, especially when something is directly his fault." Finally, a person who had worked with Vince said they were enraged by the appearance and were hopeful that this was the type of situation he'd handle more seriously. The person sourced was backstage at the show and said that they were incredulous watching it unfold.
John, did they sound fake for you? I knew they had to pump some in, man. That's even more pathetic. I get pumping in cheers for matches, but for that, ugh.
The other thing, disturbing. Right? And then, again, this is just kind of where I'm at with this company. Like, sure, I'd buy that some of those cheers were fake. I absolutely would. But, like, you still bought a ticket to see it. You still bought your tickets, and you went to the show. And next time it comes to their town, they're going to buy the tickets again. Like, again, it's a cult. And, like, even, like, when Vince leaves the ring after his promo, I saw it on Twitter, and, like, fans are reaching their hands out and shaking his hand. These people are, like, shaking his hand and, like, proud to shake his hand. Like,
it's like, no. I touched a billionaire. And then tomorrow on Twitter, they're going to be like, billionaires should pay their own share.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, man. So, I mean, that's pretty much all the Vince McMahon news that I have. I mean, honestly, I'm I'm just fucking done. I've been done for years, but now I would say I'm beyond done. I'm just mad. I'm mad and pissed off. And I just, it gives wrestling fans a bad name because, like, a non-wrestling fan, God forbid somebody continues to carry this story, right? And, like, you see these wrestling fans praising and worshiping this dude who's done all this shit. You know what I mean? Like, that, like, as a wrestling fan, I'm embarrassed by that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, like, obviously we know better. Obviously, like, we know that, we are not the same as the people that watch WWE regularly and are, like, obsessed. But, like, people outside don't know that. Like, when I talk to people sometimes and I'm talking to them about wrestling and I'm talking about AEW, they'll slip and they'll say WWE. Like, it's like old people referring to video games as like Nintendo, even when it's not a Nintendo. It's like, it's ingrained after decades. It's ingrained into the public conscious, and it's like, it's embarrassing. Like, I don't want to go, like, anywhere this weekend. Like, we have some things we're doing this weekend. I don't want to go anywhere and, like, people like see a wrestling shirt that I'm wearing and being like, oh, you're one of those people. Like, no, I'm not.
All right.
And John in the chat saying even worse are the people saying stuff like still better than AEW. Like, and that's the other, I don't know. You're not watching AEW.
No, yeah, then you're not watching.
You can't tell me you're watching AEW. It's just
all right. Enough with the E. What do we got on the front of Sasha Banks? What is the update we got for Sasha? Mercedes.
All right. So there's not a lot, but there is something. So a lot of reports coming out of Smackdown tonight from people backstage, including top talents. They're believing that the report is true, that Sasha has been released, and that that both sides have just, neither side's made a public statement yet.
Okay.
The other little tidbit that was interesting, around 9:15 tonight, so about halfway through SmackDown, Naomi was moved to the alumni page on WWE's website. A few minutes later, though, it was moved back to the active roster.
Okay.
Again, I told you, it wasn't a lot of news. It's just...
That's interesting, though, that they moved her and then moved her back in the middle of the show.
I mean, it could have just been someone backstage, like, started changing the website and then accidentally it went live and they were like, fuck, no, we haven't made a public statement yet. And I think, honestly, I think that Naomi and Sasha are going to get out. It's like we talked about this on Wednesday. If you want to get out of the sinking ship, now's the time. They are dealing with some other PR shit right now. Like, they probably will release almost anybody. Not everybody, but almost anybody. So, like, they probably let Sasha go, and they're just waiting for shit to die down so they could just say, oh, yeah, by the way, Sasha got released.
I actually think Naomi's going to stay. In the long run, she's part of that bloodline family, and I don't think they want to piss off The Rock or Roman at all. So I don't see her leaving. I think she works something out with them, but definitely see Mercedes being out of there.
Actually, I could see her actually being done. I mean, maybe she doesn't go anywhere else. Maybe she just retires, calls it a career.
Could see that.
But if she's not happy, I mean, I could see her leaving. I also did hear, this is another news thing, that the reason Sasha got released, the bottom line of it was apparently she had a legal team going through and trying to get her out of this contract. Because again, which we talked about, like, you can't freeze someone's contract without pay and then keep them under contract. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So the word going around through some reports was that Sasha was getting her lawyers involved, and WWE was just like, yeah, just go ahead.
Remember, every time somebody's taken a look at that contract and actually wanted to present it to a judge, they've been like, never mind.
Yeah.
And if she's got the money and she's got the lawyers, and obviously she does, she could be the one to challenge these contracts, man. And I don't think they want that fight.
Yeah, Jordan's saying another Vince NDA.
Wow, yeah. It actually does seem like it at the moment. It seems like both sides have some sort of NDA going on. It would make sense because if the lawyers did find a loophole, then the WWE would be like, okay, we'll grant you your release, but no talking about it. And same thing on our end, you know, no, we won't talk about it either. So.
Yeah. Oh, so I don't want to. So that's all I have for the Sasha stuff. That's all I really have for the show. So for those that weren't aware, I actually did do something that Jeff probably wouldn't have liked. So Dave Meltzer was actually on CNN today. So I watched that. That was interesting. I think CNN actually did an okay job reporting it. They mentioned that Vince is still there. He's still doing creative. They said at the end of the report that he was going to be live on SmackDown tonight. You know, they're talking about how he's still with the company.
Yeah.
And the CNN reporter was like, he's even going to be on SmackDown tonight. Of course he is. And I was like, you know what, Mr. CNN? I appreciate that. I do. I really do. Because even people who don't watch the product are like, of course he is. Of course he's going to be on fucking SmackDown. Like, why wouldn't he be? And it's ridiculous. It's just so.
I mean, you gonna gloss over the fact that they told you Dave was gonna be on at 5, and they made you watch like 55 minutes worth of garbage.
Bro,
CNN.
they were going for the ratings, man. I was
yes,
like,
they were.
Dave Meltzer's a draw, man. Dave Meltzer draws. He absolutely is a ratings draw. Anyone who says that Dave Meltzer's not a ratings draw, I beg to differ.
We have better audio than Dave. Oh, dude, thank you. I went all out for this microphone here, and I actually have a mic that I'm going to be dropping off to Rome, so he will have a better mic soon as well.
Yeah, I'm actually looking into getting a new laptop, too. I really want to get a new laptop. I'm probably going to get one within the coming weeks.
Sweet.
Oh, here's a little fun tidbit. WWE has turned off comments on their Mr. McMahon YouTube video from tonight's SmackDown.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I wonder why. Oh man, Jeff, would you like to guess why they did this?
So I couldn't go under there and comment?
Possibly.
Or people like me who love to comment in YouTube videos?
See, it's times like these where I'm really mad that YouTube got rid of the dislike count for public. Like you can't publicly see dislikes anymore.
Yeah, and that's so like, dumb.
I hate that. Like, I would love to go on that video right now and see the dislikes, because I feel that there are a lot of reasonable people out there.
Yeah.
I do think so, but it's just like, man,
it's all about the advertisers, man. They're like, this video that you advertise us on has a bunch of dislikes. That's not cool. All right, well, we'll remove the dislike button. How about that? Thank you.
Yeah, I've always thought it was ridiculous to get rid of the dislike button. It's never made any sense to me. Juan in the chat saying, random question. Do you think AEW should appoint a GM? I believe Mark Henry / Big Show would be great in that role. Mark Henry definitely deserves a bigger role than interviewing on Rampage. So with all due respect, I would say no. I think that the way AEW does its booking right now is perfect. I think that we have gotten more than enough authority figures on TV to last us a fucking lifetime. That's just my personal preference. I think WWE kind of milked that cow dry, where it's just like, you can't have a GM. But I think it makes sense for Tony Khan to do it the way he does it, where it's like, again, we're not idiots. He respects us as a viewer. He knows that he's the one. He knows that we know he's the one making the matches. You know, like when you're watching, like, you know, when you're watching the Fed, right? And I think was it Sonya Deville was like GM recently, right?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe, I don't know. But like, who actually fucking believes that Sonya Deville is booking this show? Like, who actually thinks that Sonya Deville
and Adam
put on
Pearce,
a suit?
Yeah,
and Adam Pearce are making the matches.
No, like, it was not believable for them. But
no,
I'm gonna counter your opinion and say that I have actually thought about this, and I thought about it more than I should have. And I came up with who I actually want to be the GM if AEW were to ever do this. I want Sting to be an AEW GM. Now, remember back in his TNA days when he turned into the Joker Sting, where he was like halfway Jim Carrey and halfway the Joker. I don't know why, but I feel like that character would be an amazing GM in AEW. Just him making matches, like I don't know why, but I want it. I would take it.
Yeah, I hear you, but I don't want them to do any GM. I don't think a GM works. I think let Tony Khan do it. Do it the way you've been doing it. And it works.
Yeah. My only thing though is because Tony Khan said he doesn't want to be an on-screen thing. Like we need somebody for Stokely Hathaway to go to be like, I want this match to be made. You know what I mean? We're missing.
Yeah, he does that. Yeah, they go to Tony Khan,
but we don't get to see it. We're missing like one little piece, you know. But
why do we have to see it? Why would the booker have a bias? It doesn't make sense. Tony Khan as the head of AEW and the booker, like he should want to put on the best matches he can. And that's the thing I've never understood about like the heel general manager, right? Like the heel general manager is just like, I'm just going to make the babyface's life hell and put them in these bullshit matches. And it's like, well, that seems counterproductive. You would think that you would want to make good matches so that way you do a good job as a general manager. Because again, being a general manager, you're supposed to oversee everything and make sure things succeed. So like, I've never understood, like as a kid, you don't think about it, but like as an adult, the heel GM makes no sense at all. It's like,
no, yeah, I wasn't really going down that road. I was just saying like the guy at the desk who's actually making these matches, I kind of want to see that character is all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you. I think that it's perfect the way it is. I think that you can use your announcers. You have great announcers in AEW. You have Excalibur. You have Tony Schiavone. You know, JR's getting a little bit older, so you let him just kind of call the matches. But you have guys that you can feed these things to, and they get all the points across, and it's great.
Yeah.
Like I don't have an issue with it. And we have seen Tony Khan once or twice on TV. It's not like he's like not ever on TV, but you know, you don't need him to do that. Just say Tony Khan has just made this official. He just announced this match. You know, It's like Britt Baker saying, "I'm going to Tony Khan and I'm going to get this match made," and then the match gets made. Like that. Yeah. That's the way it should be.
They do excellent with it. Excalibur always says, you know, blah 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 with Tony Khan. I've made the final decision. You know, this is happening. Like, I get it, but like once in a blue moon, like I want a vignette of like, let's say Stokely Hathaway negotiated a match with Tony Khan for something, right, with Jade. I want to see like a 30-second video of Tony Khan sitting at his desk and Stokely on the other side, and Tony being like, "So why should I give you this match?" You know, something like that. Like I want to see that character not over the top. Like I definitely don't want that dumbass like that computer that was Raw's GM or anything. You know what I mean? Just once in a blue moon, get to see somebody making that decision like at the desk. You know.
I think there's better ways to get that done. Personally,
True.
I think you could still have that segment, but just have like I don't know, like it's like when FTR signed their contracts. Like they had Arn Anderson, or no, they had somebody there as a representative for AEW, took their contracts.
Yeah.
Like and Arn was there and Tully was there, but there was someone else there who was like AEW rep. And like I don't know, that's the way I would do it. I don't think you need to have a GM on screen. Like I just don't think so. I think I just missed a chat. I think it was John that said it, but he was like, "It wastes time."
Yeah.
It's a waste of time to have a GM on TV.
Yeah, and I agree. That's why I kind of say like once in a blue moon. I just, you know, for whatever reason, like I want to see Tony. Like I know he said he doesn't want to be an on-screen character, but like I want to see him. You know.
So Juan saying, if there is a title change on the Forbidden Door prediction show, you guys should record the handoff. That would be funny. Well, so here's the thing, right? Number one, it's a big if. It's a big if. Secondly, the problem is that Forrest is not actually real.
The cartoon.
So I don't know how I could physically hand him this title. He is, as our viewers have so aptly described him, he is a cartoon boy. And I'm just letting everyone know that I will be releasing another promo leading up to Forbidden Door. I'm going to destroy the man's life. So that's really all that needs to be said about that. That being said, if by some miracle there were to be a title change, I would absolutely be willing to hand over the title. I'm a fighting champion. There's no, like, I don't know, again, like, this is just propaganda from the cult of Forrest that, like, I'm not a fighting champion and I don't defend my title. And that's just not the case at all. Like, I've always been here defending my title. You know, like, I defended it at Double or Nothing. I defended it at Revolution before that. I won it at Revolution, you know, and I've worn this with pride, and I will continue to wear this championship with pride. And, you know, title's not changing hands anytime soon, so we don't have to worry about that happening.
It's a shiny belt, man. It's got the little flares of light beaming off of it. It looks good.
It's the big gold belt.
All
Here's
right.
something that's going to upset people. So the Observer reported 30 minutes ago that Andrade was scheduled to face Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door
I will
before the
actually
whole CML.
I'll take Orange Cassidy over Andrade in that match. I'll take the
I will too.
I'll take the
I will
current.
too.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But, you know, I'm sure some people would be very upset about that.
Yes, Juan, I am usually involved in this. Unfortunately, at the last pay-per-view, I got smoked. I took last place. But I am going to be at Forbidden Door, and I'm going to be driving while they're doing their prediction show. So I have chosen not to participate this time. And also, because Rome and Forrest tied essentially last time, and the tie goes to the champion, and he retained, I'm essentially allowing them to do a one-on-one for the title.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it either way. I'm a fighting champion. I defend the title with pride. I mean, you know.
Only way Rome loses is by injury.
Absolutely. I mean, like, look, I'm not immortal. Eventually the bones are going to break. I'm going to be an old man soon eventually, you know.
Oh, that triple threat would be nuts, Juan. Woof.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Woof. You know, and I'm still confused though. Like, they're trying to blame Andrade not being able to wrestle due to AAA. And I'm like, FTR are the AAA tag champions. What are you talking about? And it's like they're just like picking and choosing, you know?
I think it's more of a contractual thing.
Okay, so like maybe FTR, they're not actually contracted to AAA?
Correct. Whereas I think Andrade and Lucha Bros have contractual obligations that they work a lot of AAA dates.
Okay, that makes sense. But CMLL, you guys should totally be bros instead of being dicks for a week.
Yeah. Should we throw shade at Big Swole for what happened? I sent it to you earlier.
Dude, I don't even like talking about her. Is it even worth it? Giving her the...
I don't know. All right, well, we'll just do it. Again, we're just kind of hanging out here and stuff like that. So Big Swole, for those that don't know, awful wrestler. She was not re-signed from AEW because she wasn't very good. And when she wasn't re-signed by AEW, she decided to make it into a race thing. And her argument was instantly destroyed by a partying on New Year's Eve Tony Khan. That was great.
That was great.
I love TK. That's my guy. I love TK. That's the thing. I love Tony Khan. This guy's he's just so genuine. He's so real. You know what I mean? Like,
still to this day, he's never done anything for me to dislike him. Like, I'm still waiting for somebody to point something out that I'm like, oh, that's not cool.
Right. But anyway, so Big Swole, as I said earlier, the name of the female employee was leaked by a piece of garbage.
Whoever it was, we still don't know.
Oh, I know. I'm just not saying. Like, I don't want to give this person the time of day. I don't want people to go on his Twitter.
Well, no. So it's known who leaked the person's name.
Oh yeah, they leaked it on Twitter.
Oh wow, okay.
And it wasn't. Well, wait. Well, so hold on. So we know who. We don't know who inside the company.
Okay. But we do know who posted it to Twitter. Obviously. Okay.
Yes, we know specifically who went on Twitter and said, "Oh, it's this. This is her name. Okay. The paralegal's name." And fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Anyway, so Big Swole, being the outstanding human being that she is, looked up this person and tweeted about it. She said, "Oh, she's pretty." Someone commented saying, "I definitely understand with, let's see, with that." Someone was like, "I definitely understand." In referring to, I understand why Vince did what he did. And Big Swole responds with, "Absolutely." Handshake emoji. Laughing cat emoji. Like, man, you are just...
She just was like, hey, you know all these horrible people that are all over Twitter, and she's just like, whoop, I jumped in the pool with them. I'm one of them. Like,
she was always one of them, though. Like, again, like, she made it such a big deal when she left AEW, but it's like, you just weren't very good, and like, you just you weren't re-signed, and she just decided to go nuclear for some fucking reason.
Yeah, that's a wrestle cringe take for sure. That should be on there.
Absolutely.
Do you think
Juan saying, do you guys think Brock Lesnar could ever go to AEW if Vince leaves WWE completely? No, because Brock does it for the money, and I could see, like, he doesn't do it because he loves wrestling. He does it because the money is good. Juan saying Brock and Vince have a strong bond. It wouldn't matter if Vince completely left.
Yeah, he's a lifer.
No. Brock will never go anywhere else. Brock already tried to do the New Japan thing for a little bit back in the day, and he did the UFC thing. He's done everything he wants to do. Right now, he's just working these shows, and they pay him an absurd amount of money to work these less than 5 dates a year.
If his pay is anything what it used to be when they actually revealed it, he gets $500,000 just to make an appearance.
Yep, and then isn't it like a couple million for a match too?
For a WrestleMania is a couple million. Regular pay-per-view is like $1 million. It's wild. Mm-hmm. But to make $500,000 just to show up on Raw, like that's what it used to be. I don't know if it still is. That's insanity.
Well, it's probably more now because since then they've gotten more Saudi blood money, and the TV network deals are good for them right now.
Yeah.
And it's shitty. Right. It sucks.
Yeah.
Again, like, I hate to put a damper on a good night of AEW action with Rampage, but like, what a fucking bummer today's been.
Dude, ever since MJF no-showed that fucking meet and greet, the world of wrestling is like a fucking nuke went off, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Again, I'm so over the MJF thing. Like, I know they're keeping him off TV for this storyline, but I'm like, can we just scrap it? Like, I don't want to like feel challenged in terms of like how far you're willing to take a story at this point. I just want good promos and good matches. Like, that's all I want at this point.
Yeah, Juan, that's a little bit tough. Like, I'm not debating that he could pay Brock. I just don't think that TK wants somebody like Brock from the E. It's like the same like John Cena. Like, I don't think he would ever go after John Cena. You know what I mean? Like,
so I actually completely disagree with you, and I agree with Juan in a sense that I think Tony Khan would love to sign Brock Lesnar. I think he absolutely would. Yeah, absolutely. Tony Khan hangs out with Dana White all the time. He likes those MMA guys.
True.
Like, Tony Khan's an MMA guy, and Brock is an MMA guy. Tony would absolutely sign Brock. The reason I think it wouldn't happen is more so on the Brock side than the Tony Khan side. Also, I think that there's like, if you look at the top 5 in WWE, and this goes both ways because WWE would do the same thing. The top 5 in WWE and the top 5 in AEW, if they were to get let go by their respective companies, they would instantly be like, okay, we'll sign them. Like, AEW would sign Roman Reigns in a heartbeat. AEW would sign Charlotte. They're gonna sign Sasha, in my opinion. Like Randy Orton, Matt Riddle, like these top guys would absolutely get signed by AEW instantly. And again, it goes both ways. If Kenny Omega or, I'm trying to think of because there's so many people in AEW, like anyone, like any of the top guys were to like get let go, they would get signed by WWE instantly if they were interested in going there.
True. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But I am yawning constantly here. I think we need to wrap this one up. I definitely appreciate everybody who has been with us here tonight. We've hovered at 10 viewers all night. You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you guys very much. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button. Help us get to our goal of 500 so we can do a giveaway on one of our Sting action figures. Other than that, let's go ahead and close it out.
All right. Well, this has been episode 45 of the Broken Tables podcast. We're getting close to 50. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider giving us a like and subscribe or follow, depending on where you find us. Thank you to everyone in the stream for checking us out tonight and commenting and stuff like that. Again, we love you guys. You guys make this such a blast for both of us every single show we do. But thank you for listening to us on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. You can follow us on Twitter at Broken Table Show or on Facebook and Instagram at The Broken Tables Podcast. We go live on YouTube following every single AEW Dynamite, Rampage, and even pay-per-views. We hope to see you again, but until then, see you later.
Right on, everybody. Peace.
Top guys out.
Yeah.